What is good, Foundation Nation? Today we're checking out the DD1 from Discmania. So we have it in the S-line plastic here. The DD1's an 11 speed. The flight numbers they're claiming is 11.5 -12. I personally throw the DD3. I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the farthest flying discs in the game. And I'm excited to try out the DD1. From looking at flight numbers, it seems like if a DD3 were a destroyer, the DD1 would be a Wraith. So I'm expecting a similar flight out of it, just with a little bit more comfortable hand feel because it's a little bit slower. It might also mean that if you can't get the flight out of the DD3, you might be able to get it out of the DD1. But that's a bunch of assumptions. Let's throw it and see what happens. This first throw, I'm gonna try to throw relatively flat, so it'll probably be a little slight hyzer. We have a very mild headwind, so I don't really think it's gonna affect the flight, but do keep that in mind throwing this direction. Yeah, I mean, that's similar to what I remember my original, like the brand new DD3 being. I put it on definitely a little hyzer, a little nose up, got it to pop up a little bit into this headwind, rode for a second, faded, had decent distance on it. I'm definitely excited to throw it a bit more. It feels very comfortable forehand, so I'm excited to try that, but it seems to be exactly what I expected it. All right, now we have a little bit of a tailwind with the DD1 here. We're gonna try to throw it relatively flat. Based on what I saw on the headwind, this disc flat in the tailwind should go pretty straight and have a good fade, or might get a little bit of turn out of it, so we'll see here. The flight numbers are pretty true. 11.5 -12. I would say it's pretty true. We'll see on the way back how it holds up to a headwind. I'll try to throw it that similar shot into a headwind and see if it just turns and burns. But in a tailwind, I threw it what felt pretty flat. It did get a nice little turn out of it. Consistent fade, exactly what was expected. All right, so we're back going into the headwind with the DD1 here. We're just gonna try to pump it out there flat and see what the headwind does to it. Does this disc get bullied in the headwind?
10 out of 10 flat throw. Pretty good.
Yeah, it held up pretty true. I'm thinking the flight numbers are spot on. It's got enough integrity to hold up to a headwind. It's not gonna turn and burn on you. I felt like I got that pretty flat. Probably a little hyzer, but it felt pretty flat. And it seemed like it just kind of turned and rode, faded back. I'm getting a really consistent flight both ways in both winds, which is a good sign of a truly somewhat overstable disc. So we'll try it on forehand, where I think this disc will probably really shine for me personally, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on it. All right, we're gonna take the DD1, rip it on a forehand now. And I think this is where I'm most excited to throw this disc. It feels like a disc that'll be perfect for my forehand, so we'll see a little tailwind here. Yeah, it came out clean, had a little bit of anhyzer on it, rode it a little bit, fought out. I really am enjoying this disc. I think it's a really, really good complement to the DD3 if you throw that. This one's more overstable than the DD3 in my bag, but I don't remember exactly where that DD3 was when I put it in my bag. It feels like it was pretty close to this. This one's just a different hand feel. I'm getting similar distance, maybe a little bit shorter than DD3, but not enough that I would notice it out on the course. So I think it's really just what comes down to hand feel. If you typically, lean more towards those 11 speeds or slower 12 speeds, like the Wraith is an 11 speed, or the Thrasher is a 12 speed or something like that, where you like that not super wide rim, check out the DD1. I think it's gonna be perfect for that slot. It probably is pretty comparable to a Wraith. I haven't thrown too many Wraiths because I always just go to the destroyer instead. But if you felt destroyers, you felt DD3s, and you're like, I want that flight, but I don't want that rim width, check it out, the DD1. I think that's exactly what you're looking for.